See, lad, like that, do you know what I mean? Like a giant chocolate orange cookie dough cake bar.
So nice.
You'd finish that in one.
I probably would, you know.
Belter, lads.
That looks so good.
I know. Oh, what's happening? Yeah, she's speaking of the devil. You alright?
What are you?
Mate, yeah. Belter.
Hi, I brought some cake.
Oh, have you?
Just a few little, but I'm still getting stuff out the car, so
Oh, yeah? I'll help you.
Someone-
Do not eat them, lads. I'm telling you. What are you missing? I love you, you know that. Oh,
That was so nice, by the way.
that is like a tin of beans.
That
is insane. I thought it was just gonna pierce at me.
That is
I
mad.
didn't even notice it till I got home.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Today I was like, whoa, that's mad, that. What flavour is it?
Oh, sour solstice. It is sour as well.
Is it sour?
Ooh,
Bit like you.
bitter and twisted like my soul. It's a blood orange and cranberry sour. 4.8% on the Richter scale, as you say.
I got a hazy little thing because I'm a bit of a hazy little thing. IPA it is 4.6 on the old Richter scale as well. And it brings us on to the guest for today. So, Jack, I'll let you
Our
introduce.
fantastic guest.
Yeah.
Nat Shilton, aka that Nakery girl.
Hey, so I have whole earth organic sparkling elderflower made with natural ingredients.
Oh, lovely. From Purple Carrot.
It's lovely there.
I was going to get you a
From
Budweiser, but I
Purple
didn't think it would go down very well.
I love Purple Carrot. It's boss, isn't it?
Oh, that's
Yeah.
amazing, to be honest. I always go, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's right by yours.
It's right by ours. They do like the best thing is just like the substitute meats they do. You can't get good jackfruit anywhere or good tofu some places,
Yeah.
and it's so good there.
Yeah.
The fruit and veg is boss there as
It's
well.
a belt. They do all like breads and that, don't they? And like ice creams and all sorts. It's
Yeah,
it's
loads of little local companies
yeah.
in there and stuff.
incense as well, don't they? Do incense.
There's like organic fruit and veg as well. We don't get a lot of places as well.
Yeah, definitely. It's that important as well to shop organic where possible. 100%.
Which leads nicely in
Does lead nicely
to
in.
you.
Yeah.
Would you look at that?
Yeah.
So our guest today, in case you didn't know, so I've known you. How long did we say? It was like, how long have you been on this for? 5 years.
Yeah. So it
About
was.
7.
Yeah,
reckon.
I'd say. Yeah.
So
Mad.
my number. So my lucky number's 7. That's, if you don't know, is 4, and today is episode 4 as well. So that's just wow.
Mad. And can I just say, when we was coming in, there was a taxi parked outside, and it had the number plate 444, and it was parked in Bay 22.
Which adds up to 4 as well.
Just mad.
Bizarre. That means you're on the right path coming here today, doesn't it?
It's all
So we're gonna have a
aligned.
good session.
We are.
Yeah.
But so a bit of background about yourself. So Nat owns a vegan raw cake shop in town on Berry Street. A naked skin. I know it's naked skin, but an organic skincare company, natural skincare company, and a YouTube channel, and has her own podcast, Naked Truth.
Yeah.
So today, basically, just a little bit about your Naked Truth.
Yeah.
So how it all started, where it all.
Yeah, so it started back in 2015. It was basically just a hobby. Started from my home kitchen, and I basically just started creating these raw healthy treats. Just something to create for myself, my friends, family, and I started giving them out to people, and quickly started getting really good feedback.
Just giving them away, was you?
Yeah, literally just giving
Like
them
a
to
hobby.
people. Yeah.
What were you making at first as well?
So my first cake was a raw cheesecake. So the base was made from nuts, dates. Then we had a cashew cream, and I made that for my mum, and she was just blown away. She was like, "Wow, this is like a game changer."
Yeah.
And it just quickly then started to grow, started to take more of my time up. My mind started to become consumed by cakes, healthy cakes.
So why healthy? Why not just cakes?
Yeah, so I've always been quite health conscious, to be honest. I've always been on like this kind of healthy lifestyle journey.
Yeah. Oh, you used to do CrossFit as well, didn't you? Like back in the day,
Yeah. So basically when I left school, I started to get into fitness. I started to train just with like a personal trainer, just doing like weights, things like that. And I was doing a lot of running as well. I ran a couple of half marathons. I was in Liverpool Running Club.
Belter.
Yeah, so I started off running, and then I ended up getting into CrossFit then, because when I was running I kind of fell into a bit of an unhealthy relationship with foods. I started to get quite disordered eating, and I started to like stop eating really, and I got really ill.
But still running?
Yeah, so I was running really long distances. I was obsessed with calories, so I'd always make sure I was training more than what I was consuming. And I just started skipping meals, started to really just not eat. I lost all my hair, got really sick, really underweight. And as I say, it was just this really toxic, disordered eating that I developed.
It's the negative relationship with food.
Yeah, and I think sometimes that can happen, especially with females, when we get into fitness and we start seeing results. It can be a really toxic industry, to be honest with you. And it's quite easy to fall down that rabbit hole of kind of just being obsessive. And for me, having quite an obsessive personality, it was very easy for me to kind of fall down that path, and that's what happened. So then I started to do CrossFit and basically started to build my body back up. Basically what happened was I was looking around at other females who were strong. They were lifting weights, and I was thinking, wow, these girls are amazing, like they're strong, you know. They have amazing bodies and like just really like positive mindset. And healthy relationships with food. So I started to become inspired by them, and basically started to really heal myself and heal my relationship around foods. And then that's when the Nakery was kind of born. Back then it was Nat's Natural Nutrition. So first of all, it was complete hobby. Then I got kind of persuaded by my friends, like set up an Instagram page, and at the time I was like, no, I'm not setting up an Instagram. Like, what if someone doesn't like the cakes? Like, what would I do? Didn't have any background at all in cake making, anything like that. It's not as if like my mum was a baker or anything. Like, it was just completely out of nowhere that I started to do this. And I'd never, like, no one in the family's ever set up a business, nothing like that. So I was thinking, I can't set up this Instagram. Like, I was really overthinking it. But in the end, I went for it and I set it up as Nat's Natural Nutrition. It's so long-winded now, that name, when I look back. It's like crazy.
Yeah, it doesn't have the same ring to it as the Nakery,
It doesn't, no.
What made you,
different.
back then, think, you know what, I want to do this? What was like the drive, the force?
I never really wanted to, I never really knew what I wanted to do at the time. I was in university, I was studying psychology, and I enjoy psychology, like I really do. I enjoy looking into people's mindset and things. It's really interesting. But
where everything starts, isn't it?
Exactly. And in university, I just felt like it wasn't for me. I just didn't feel at home there. I didn't feel like that style of learning was like suited to me. So I used to look around and think everyone around me seemed to know exactly what they wanted to do, but I just didn't feel like I belonged there. So I was really questioning, like, what am I going to do? Everyone around me was like, oh, I'm going to be a clinical psychologist, I'm going to be an educational psychologist, and I was just looking around thinking, I don't even know if I want to do psychology. Like, I've just been pushed down this kind of path by society and by everyone's expectations, and it wasn't even what I wanted to do. And
everyone seems to have the stuff together, so that makes you think even more like, wow, like they know what they want to do and I don't, and I don't want to be here. Exactly,
and that's what I kind of come to. And then it was I think it was just the encouragement from people around me. Just the encouragement of people saying, you know, you could really do something with this, you could really push it. It was a niche in the market, no one was doing it back then. It was very like unheard of, the industry.
How did you get into sort of vegan sort of cakes?
So at first it was never aimed to be vegan.
Yeah.
It was just healthy.
You used like
treats.
honey and stuff at the time.
Yeah. So I used to use honey, and it was always like, they were always kind of healthy, made from like nuts, made from alternative flours, things like that. But it was never ever pushed as vegan, because they weren't vegan back then. As Jack said, we used honey and stuff. But then as we grew, we seemed to get like a massive vegan following and vegan customer base, and that's when I thought, like, I need to give these people what they want. Basically, I was listening to the feedback, and I really wanted to provide the city with something that they were asking me for. Like, it's mega important as a business owner to be able to take feedback and just give people what they want. Do you know what I mean?
The old cliche, the customer's always right.
Exactly.
And there's a big vegan customer base in Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a big thing. I've been to other cities and just thought, it's not half as big here. Do you know what I mean? It's very big in Liverpool. Like,
Definitely. And I feel like basically what happened was, like, there was loads of ups and downs. We ended up getting our first little shop in Petticoat Lane, which was Bold Street. Yeah,
it's cute in there, weren't it?
Yeah, literally.
Whereabouts on Bold Street was it?
So do you know, now, how could I explain it? Do you know where Love Thy Neighbour used to be?
No.
Do you know where the boom thing is of the Liverpool players, and it says
Yeah.
boom?
Yeah.
So the other side of that square.
There's a gap, and then that other side.
What's this?
Honest Burgers is there now.
Oh, I know what Honest is.
How
Yeah.
ironic that's now a burger place, and you turn vegan. Not turn vegan.
I know. So a little story about Petticoat Lane. What happened was, we were walking down the street one day, and we just kind of wandered in, and I never even knew this place existed, but it's been there for a long time. Apparently they used to sell like certain type of tracksuit or something that everyone used to wear.
I never knew until I went.
I don't know what.
I
don't know what it was, but it was like, apparently it was like a big place to go, like a few years ago. But I never knew it existed. So we were walking down, and we went in there, and I thought this would be perfect to have a place here, just a little small shop, nothing too big in terms of overheads, but in an amazing location. If we can market it right, and if we can get the socials like looking good, then people are going to know that we're in there. So as we walked in, someone was moving all the stuff out, right? And I was looking, thinking as if this is happening, and the girl basically was moving out as we walked in there, and she was like, yeah, this unit's just become available. I literally called the landlord, and within 2 days I was like signing the contract, like, this is just meant to be.
Meant to be.
So question for you, did you feel ready at that point, or did you take a plunge, like the jump?
It was, I've always been into like taking plunges and stuff.
Straight in, no armbands.
Yeah, exactly. To be honest,
the best way though, isn't it? Because you learn, you sink or swim, don't you? Like,
literally, like me this morning in Crosby Beach.
What a day
you've had some day.
4 o'clock was you up?
Yeah, so basically we've been up this morning. We've been in Crosby Beach, doing the meditation, a cold water therapy, basically in the sea, fully submerged. It was just incredible.
How did you feel after the session this morning, by the way, Crosby Beach? Alive.
What
a way. How often do you actually feel alive?
I know. It was honestly something else. It was actually really emotional. It was crazy. Yeah.
That's amazing though.
But so I've never really every decision I make, I wouldn't say I ever feel ready.
Yeah.
When do you feel ready?
You're never ready if you're overthinking.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
When's the right time?
A good bit of advice I got once was the 80-20 rule. So when you're 80% ready, when something's 80% ready to create and release, or when you're 80% ready to do something, do it, because that 20% will kill an idea.
Exactly.
You'll go the other way if you get into that 20%.
Exactly, but to be honest, the universe has my back.
Yeah.
Like, if I wasn't ready, that opportunity wouldn't have ever presented itself.
100%.
Like, because it come about the way it did, I know.
You were meant to be there.
Like, the universe has got
Trust,
me. Do you know what I mean?
Trust the process.
Yeah, exactly.
100%.
So we ended up moving in, really quickly turnover. It was only a little shop, just like a little counter, and we still had our unit up in Nakery where we were making the cakes. So it was basically every night in the unit making the cakes, taking them down to the shop, coming back, making more cakes, taking them down. So I used to work in the shop. I think it was like 11 till 6, and then 6 till like literally all through the night making cakes.
Yeah.
So it was literally non-stop, you know,
One
at
thing
the
I've always
start.
said about her, mate, I do not know if she sleeps or when she sleeps.
Yeah, no, sleep's important. Like,
No, I know,
sleep's
yeah. I know
mega
you do get
important. I do
you couldn't
get
be
me
as glowing as
sleep.
you are without your sleep. But that's what I say is, you do all this stuff,
Yeah.
that's like, people think is like, businesses grind and hustle and that, but
Yeah.
like, you can be a healthy hard worker. Do you know what I mean? 'Cause
Definitely, it's about
sleep's the
working
most
smarter.
important, not harder, yeah.
So today you've been up since 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So after the beach you went to...
So after the beach, we went down to Wilderness.
Yeah.
My friend Lou, she's got a salon. It's completely herbal,
Got your
natural.
kale on.
Got me kales on,
Yeah.
yeah. Kales for days. We basically went down. We made some natural products with Lou. She done a little education session with us. Then we went home, got like freshened up. We come back. We went to do a radio interview. My friend's starting at a local radio
Yeah.
station,
Plug it.
which is
Can ya?
we can't, yeah,
No.
because it hasn't been released. But it's gonna be.
Tell us off camera.
It's gonna be
Exclusive.
it's gonna be amazing. Like,
Yeah.
the vision that they've got for it is just boss. Like,
Yeah.
it's gonna be amazing.
That's it.
So we went down there, we done that, and then we had a little a film crew from the Baltic coming down to the Nakery.
Yeah.
They were basically shooting a documentary about Liverpool businesses like bouncing back after coronavirus.
Yeah.
So I took part in that, and then we went up to Indigo Greens in Duke Street Market.
Yeah.
Had some amazing plant-based food. I
Oh.
love it there.
Yeah, oh, it's unbelievable,
I
isn't
think
it?
that's the...
Yeah.
I'm plant-based-ish. I
Yeah.
went, got food from there, and I can't remember what it was. It was like chili falafel.
Yeah.
And I had that, and I was like, proper nice that. I reckon I could eat more than that.
Yeah.
And that's when I had that epiphany moment.
Yeah.
It's lovely.
Do you know the thing I realised? I don't think it was in Indigo Greens. I think it was in... There's a place on Dunningbridge Road in Aintree called Little World. Have you been?
Yeah.
So they grow everything out the back, all the beans, they do everything, and then they make it in there. It's all
Where
made
is
of
it?
wood. By Goals on Dunningbridge.
Yeah.
I'll show you.
Oh,
We'll
yeah,
go.
yeah, yeah.
But I remember eating... This is like when I had my epiphany moment of like, God, this is noticing how you feel and how things taste. I remember eating a vegan full English and thinking like, I feel fantastic here and I
Yeah.
can go again. Like, rather than if you eat a full meat full English, you're like, oh, for the whole day.
Yeah.
And that was when I remember thinking, focus on, be conscious of how you feel after you
Yeah.
eat. Do you know what I mean? That was the
Definitely.
scran for me.
Definitely, and it's about tuning in, and this was how I started to heal my relationship around food, was tuning into the body and actually listening to what your body's telling you stuff
Yeah.
all the time.
We're too in the mind sometimes,
we're
aren't we?
so switched off to
Yeah.
it. It's only when you tune back in and you have like a meditation practice or something that connects you back
Yeah.
to you know, and just connects you back to like your intuition and what your body actually asking for.
Yeah.
A lot of the time when you're craving stuff, there's a certain... Your body's so clever. There's like certain minerals in that food that your body's craving. So you're not just craving chocolate for no reason. There's something in that, although it's a lot of empty calories and
Yeah.
it's a lot
Yeah.
of, you know, there's something in that your body needs, and that's why it's craving that certain food,
Yeah.
because it knows if you eat this, you're going to give me this mineral that I'm looking for.
And
do
I
you know
will
what I mean?
satisfy that craving. That's what your
Exactly.
mind, like your mind is all over you, not just in your head, isn't it? Like your gut is your mind. It knows what
Exactly.
it's missing. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah, it's all connected, and like obviously there's a massive connection now between the gut and the brain. Well, it's becoming more research now between the gut and the brain, and how important gut health is to, and how important like what you're eating is for your mental health as
Yeah.
well.
Oh, we had 100%.
There's never been that, like it hasn't been explored until like quite recently. Like doctors used to think what you eat has no effect on your mental health.
Oh, it does.
Insane.
And
It does.
of course what you're putting in your body is going to affect you not only physically but mentally as well. So
But the mental is physical. So like the brain's
Exactly.
physical health affects your psychological health as well, doesn't
Exactly.
it? Like water. So like 3 litres a day is the recommendation, isn't it? Or like 8 glasses, whatever, 3 litres. They
Yeah.
get you 3 litres to excel. And I can't remember where I figured how I come to this analysis, but like you can live without breath. You can survive without breath for 2 minutes. You can survive without water for 2 days, and food's 2 weeks. So say you've got like breath for 2 minutes, water for 2 days, food for 2 weeks. People tend to, and I've been guilty of it, sometimes I'm guilty of it, tend to be the other way around. So they'll only concentrate on the food. So like, oh, I'm hungry, but then the water will come secondary, like
Yeah.
they don't drink enough water. And then third in the tier is breath work. Like that's, obviously there's a big movement, especially in Liverpool at the moment, on meditation, breath work and stuff. But you breathe more than you eat. you breathe more than you drink, and you drink more than you eat. So you should focus on them in that order, shouldn't
in
you?
that order of priority.
But it seems to be flipped on its head. Like breath work, that's the smallest focus for some people. Then water, and then it's food. Oh, that just gets me through the day.
But at the same time, it's like it's in your brain as well. Like if you're in a jungle somewhere and you fending for your life, the first thing you're thinking of, what's the next meal I can have?
Yeah.
No,
Eventually you'll get to a stage going, I need a drink, but straight away your first primary goal is to get food.
Get
Do you know what I mean?
I know, but did you know that the age expectation of an animal is based on the breath. So a tortoise takes like 4 breaths an hour, a minute, and that's why they live till they're 100 years.
Yeah.
So if you can slow and can control your breath, your life expectancy
yeah.
raises with how slow your breath is.
Yeah.
And how controlled it is.
Yeah, I've heard that before. So certain like yogis, like they measure the lifespan on the breath, so they know how much. Yeah, it's crazy, that isn't it?
I'm never breathing again then.
They could test your breath now and predict your life expectancy.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what. Yeah.
But can't you work? Oh, I don't mean. You can work on that though, and then
through breath work and meditation.
Yeah,
of course. Yeah.
Breath work, especially with what we done at the beach this morning, the Wim Hof method.
Oh, unbelievable.
I mean, like.
Is that the Iceman?
Yeah.
When he goes up, he could be on Everest in a pair of undies.
Yeah.
Videos of him like him meditating at the top of Everest, like that we made show me. I was like, what?
Yeah, and it's all through the breath, and basically they injected E. coli in like a kind of lab condition to test what would happen, and he done his breath work, and it just didn't affect him.
He proved science wrong.
He basically proved, because everyone was saying you can't control like a virus by your, you know what I mean? It's just not possible, and he basically just proved everyone wrong. Yeah, and when you do that breathing and you hold the breath and you think like, how am I gonna do this without breathing? Do you know what I mean? But you hold your breath, and you can hold it for like, you know, up to a minute, and it's amazing. Get high on your own supply. That's what Wim Hof says, and you really do. You really do.
But that's
it's
Tony
like
Montana's
level.
rule #1 is don't get high on your own supply. I think so. No, but it is. If you can control your breath, and if after a run or you've been exercising, you're oxygenated, you want to hold your breath in, like deep belly breaths, and you're like, ooh, it works. But anyway, back to your story.
Yeah.
We went off on a tangent.
We just love breath.
This happens every week. We just go off on tangents, don't we? But
I know.
Yeah.
We always bring it back.
Yeah.
So you was at Petticoat Lane, and then after that.
So Petticoat Lane was going really, really well. We were getting lots of customers. Like, we were getting queues before we even opened. It was insane, the amount of support we were getting. We were getting, like, the Liverpooler who coming down to do, like, articles and stuff. It was just amazing. And after about a year, we had a little party to celebrate, like, a year. And then I went on holiday then, and it was the first holiday I'd took in a long time. And as I say, I was working massively long hours. And it was really taking its toll, so I thought, what I just need to get away. So I think I went away for like about a week, and on the second day of the holiday, the landlord texted me to say, we're selling the building, you've got 3 weeks to get out.
Oh yeah, way to ruin your holiday.
Yeah, so I was like...
Was it that abrupt?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Wow.
But the universe has got you back. That's what you think.
The universe always has me back. But to be honest, like, I'm not going to lie, at the time I wasn't thinking the universe has got me back.
Hindsight's a wonderful thing.
To be honest, you know what I mean? Like, this is what I mean about, it's kind of hard, like, sometimes with, like, positivity and stuff, it can be quite toxic in terms of, like, you know, just be positive. But, like, I'm not going to lie, at that point, like, I wasn't positive.
You're thinking, what can I do here?
At that exact moment.
Yeah.
But then it's in the days after it, I just thought, you know, I have got to find some level of trust here.
Yeah. Well, Phil said that last week. He said he got not called out, but someone pointed out it's like passive aggressive positivity. Oh, it's just think of the amazing opportunity. You've lost your business. You've lost your shop. It's like, no, like, this is a crap thing. And, like, let me wallow in it for a bit and I'll be all right.
Exactly. And, you know, sometimes we're easy to tell people, you know, it's easy to say, just be positive, like, don't worry about it. But there is, like, things that you're going to worry about.
We all have bad days, don't we?
Can't have the good without the bad.
Exactly.
Can't stop the waves, but you can learn to surf, mate.
Exactly, yeah. So I ended up, in the end, I was thinking I really can't let this ruin the holiday. So I'm just going to have to try and, like, forget about it for now, because there was nothing I could do. I was, you know, I was in Spain. I wasn't, like, there was nothing I could do about that happening back home, really. But I did actually sit and look on my phone at, like, other shops. And there wasn't none. So I thought, I don't know what I'm going to do. So come home, basically looked on every website, couldn't find any shops that were in the right location and the right size and the right price. And then I ended up just taking a walk around the city centre. And it was like a film, honestly. Like, it was raining. I was dead sad.
What music did you have on?
Yeah, just like sad music. I don't know. Like,
Mad
I was
World
just,
on.
Yeah, I was just
what's that
walking
other
around,
one?
like,
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
honestly, I was just walking around and I was just thinking, like, just walking, looking for somewhere, basically. I was just...
Oh, was you
we
actively looking for something?
I was actively looking for a shop,
Not just letting
yeah.
the tears, the rain wash away your tears, no?
No, I was actively out there,
Oh,
you know,
good, yeah,
looking for the space. And I stumbled across 44 Berry Street.
Yeah.
And it was like a building site at the time. And I knocked on the window, and the guy was like working in there. He come to the door and I said, you know, what's this? Is like, what's going on here? And I explained the story, like, I've lost the shop, we need a shop and all that. And he said, oh, it's being taken, like, someone's put an offer in. And I was like, oh. So he said, if anything falls through, we'll get back to you. So he took my number.
Did you think it was perfect at this time, and then he's just dropped
Yeah.
another
As soon as I
bombshell,
walked in, I just thought, this is perfect.
Yeah.
And it was double the rent, over double the rent that we were paying in Petticoat Lane.
Yeah.
But I just knew as
was
soon as I
worth it.
walked in the space, I was like, this is just
The gut,
amazing.
yeah.
Yeah, and I noticed 44, but I wasn't really into numerology at the time, but I thought, like, that's got to mean something, but I'll come back to that in a bit. So I went away and didn't hear nothing back from him at all. And then a few weeks later, the to-let sign went up outside, and I thought it was something must have fell through, you know what I mean? So I called him and I said, you know, as it fell through, and he said, oh no, someone else has put an offer in. So I was like, oh.
So it had fell through and someone else put an offer in?
Yeah,
Oh.
so I was like, and then the to-let sign went back up, and the third time, lucky, I got a viewing, and as soon as I done the viewing, I said, yeah, like, I want it. So put the deposit down, and then we waited about 5 months for everything, paperwork to be signed.
Where was you then, the Red Brick Vintage Hangar for that time?
Yeah, so luckily enough, what I'd done is, weird how it all happened. It was like something was moving through me at the time, because
I love that feeling, you know, we were saying this about the podcast, weren't we? Like, stuff was just coming. And
Yeah,
stuff
felt
in
right.
flow.
Yeah,
Felt
just
right.
It's like,
literally-
whoa,
Yeah.
everything you touch turns to gold. type
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. So a few months previous, we'd lost our we had a nightmare with our commercial unit where we were making the cakes, and I was looking for another unit, and in looking for another unit, we ended up kind of sharing a space with someone for the time being while we were kind of looking for somewhere. And some guy come in and he wanted to speak to Chris, who was the guy who owned the unit who I was renting space off. And I said, oh, he's not here at the minute, but I can, like, take your message or whatever and pass it on. And he said, oh yeah, I'm just from Red Brick Hangar and we want to speak to Chris about maybe coming down and having a store. So I was like, oh, I've seen that on Instagram. Anyway, I ended up going down to see it and just said, oh yeah, I'll have that stall. I don't even know what was going through my head. Being in mind, we'd lost our commercial space at this point to make the cakes. And I ended up getting this other little shop kind of stall.
Yeah.
And everyone around me was going, what are you doing? Like, what did you do that for? And I was going, I don't know, like, it just felt right.
Yeah.
So I done that. And thank God we did, because when we got kind of kicked out of Petticoat Lane, we were so lucky to have that space, because if I wouldn't have done that like 3 months previous, we would have had nowhere.
Yeah.
The universe has got your back.
Exactly. So we carried on trading from Red Brick Hangar for a while, but it just wasn't for us. It was it's like a lot of vintage clothes. It's kind of a bit out the way. No one really knew we were there, and it was a tough year from that until when we got into Berry Street. It was really, really difficult. We made a loss from being like just flying high to then making a loss for that year. It was just mad. It was just a
Did you learn a lot though through that time as well about the business and obviously yourself as well? You would as well, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I had to just dig deep basically, and I had to just I knew by then. So I'd put the deposit down for Berry Street, and it took a while because the solicitor who we were going through to do the paperwork, they had their own solicitor basically contacting me to get all the paperwork signed, and he was just like, I couldn't deal with him anymore, because he was basically he called me and he said, I've heard all about your little cupcake business.
Yeah.
And I was like,
How patronising.
it's not a cupcake business. And then he was basically just really talking down to me, and he was saying things like, do you really think you're going to be able to afford this space? And like, he was just really, and this is like, a lot of the time, females in business, like, it's tough sometimes because you have men sometimes who just still in that mindset where they don't think females can be successful or
You're a girl, not a woman.
exactly,
type thing,
yeah. And he was just really, really patronising. That's to do with my age as well. I think my age and the fact that I'm a female.
Yeah, double bubble there, mate.
Yeah. And it was just like he wasn't taking me seriously, and I was like, why would I be signing up for this if I didn't think I could do it? Do you know what I mean? So in the end, I was like, I don't want to deal with that solicitor. And then the paperwork just took about 6 months in the end, and then we finally got into Berry Street, decorated it. We got Jazz Stan, the local artist, to come down, paint loads of colours.
Speaking of local artists, do you mind?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah.
But Jay brought this down for me to the show, yeah? So
Amazing.
this-
Show it to each camera, lads. Show it to each one.
I've got my own camera. so this is from our mate. What way do we go there? There we go.
That one. Charlotte Fairlong Art. We'll
Amazing.
put a link up for it as well.
Yeah. So I actually commissioned this myself. She asked me what you want. She was doing them over lockdown, wasn't she?
Yeah.
And she was like, what colour do you want? And I wanted the Hamza. And she was like, right, and then what do you want? What mandalas and stuff? And I was like, told her everything. She was like, I know I'm taking a bit long, and I didn't even think she was. She was like, I know I'm taking a bit long.
But you wanted to look
it's gonna
good.
Be special.
It's
And I was
worth
like,
it, though, look at
I
it.
was expecting months, you know what I mean?
And she does a load of other good stuff as well. We'll put a link up and everything.
Yeah, put a link up. But yeah,
have a look.
boss. So Jay brought it for me today, and then I can't wait to get in my bedroom. Get me bonsai.
Can't wait to take it home. Shut up, lad.
That sounds wrong.
Well, it was meant to, lads.
No, from me, I mean, yours.
yeah.
You've capitalised on a joke there, Jay. Well done. Well done, mate. But anyway, back to Jazz Stan.
Yeah, so we got...
Sorry. Should we take a minute?
Yeah,
Focus on the breath. There we go. It worked. And it's off again. Another breath for you, Jay.
yeah.
Jesus Christ. So Jazz Stan.
Shake it out.
Yeah, shake it out. Jazz Stan.
So we got...
I love you so much, you know. You just set yourself off and you get me going.
It's got me going as well. It's a bit of laughter now.
Boss, the best
Boss
medicine.
Void, isn't it?
Yeah, go on.
So, yeah.
Jazz Stan.
Jazz Stan.
Right.
And scene.
Okay.
So Jazz Stan, you got it in to do all the outlay and stuff, yeah?
Give me a...
Yours.
Do you know what's happened to me? I've gone past tired.
You've gone, what?
Past tired.
Yeah,
Do you know, we
overtired,
get that
and you
where
get
you get like
giddy and that.
delirious.
Oh, yeah.
We get that all the time in the shop, you know, like when we work long days and stuff. It's like we all start saying stupid stuff and just like crying, laughing.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, we've gone delirious here. Like, let's get
happens.
past tired.
That's sleep deprivation. Does stuff to you,
It's the
honestly.
worst thing in the world, isn't it?
Yeah. But yeah.
So this is the shop where Jazz Stand on the art, isn't it? Yeah. So Jazz Stand.
So loads of boss colours on the walls, like
Yeah.
dead bright, and it was just ready to showcase like the light at the end of the tunnel for the journey I've been on, the journey we've been on as the Nakery, and
Boss that.
it just amazing now. It just lights you up every time you walk in, and everyone loves the artwork.
Yeah. It's on
It's
the thing
great.
there, is it? Should we get it up?
Yeah,
That,
yeah. So there's a little bit on the cup there, yeah, on the sticker. So
That's it.
it's just amazing, yeah.
Is that the same one you got on the app as well? It's sort of similar, isn't it?
Yeah. So now we've got the app as well. So basically we set that up during lockdown because we knew when we reopened there might be some people scared to leave.
Challenges as
Yeah.
well, yeah.
Yeah, major challenges. Because we'd just been just under a year then at Berry Street. So it was like we haven't been there that long in the grand scheme of things, and we had to really think like, how's this going to affect us with the coronavirus?
And were you
stuff
doing a
like that.
delivery service, anything like that?
Yeah, so the app's basically delivery within a 5-mile radius, and you can also do collections as well. So
I capitalised on that as soon as she was opened. I was in work, seeing the white cookie dough slabs. I was like, I rang her. I was like, don't let them go. Because they weren't, she just put them on the Instagram and then I updated the app. And I was like, no, don't let them go. I want them. And then she was like, yeah, there's 2 here for you. Scoffed them. The app's though, sorry.
it's good, yeah, with the app.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's one thing that I've not enjoyed, but got my hair cut yesterday by my actual barber rather than my dad for 3 months. Do you know what I mean?
It actually looks alright for a change.
Exactly. Me monkhead.
And usually I look at you when your dad does it and goes, oh, so we done your haircut, but when's he finishing?
Yeah.
Shut up, lads.
But my mum was like, you look like a proper monk now. I was like, I'm not trying to be a monk. Like my mum thinks, just because you're like meditating. Oh, he's turned into a monk. And she's like, you got the hair as well. I think my mum thinks I'm going to get off.
Sometimes you don't speak for a few days, don't you?
Yeah, that's only to you. We speak enough in here. But I booked the appointment on the app rather than ringing. He was like, no, use the app. I thought I paid on the app. He was like, you can, but you just secure it with the card. And like, he was saying it, he was like, I prefer it. It's better for the customer. It's better for him personally. It's more like, it's just the future, isn't it? Just like streamlining and stuff.
Definitely,
Do you know what I
yeah.
mean?
It's less admin because I run 4 Instagrams at the minute. So it's
mad, that, isn't it?
4.
Yeah. Shut
I
up.
can't do my run 4.
Oh,
Yeah, I do.
you do,
It's 4,
yeah.
isn't it?
Oh, I know.
4, all these 4s.
Mad, isn't it?
So I run the Nakery.
I have to make another one.
Naked Truth.
That
Nakery girl and Naked Skin.
Yeah.
So a bit more on Naked Skin. When did that all come about as well?
That come about during the lockdown.
Oh yeah, and what made you make that push
Just
to
the
start
download,
doing it?
wasn't it?
Do
You
you
just
know
had
what? It was I was just, I guess, getting a lot more into my own routine, spending a lot of time in nature, reading about herbalism and stuff like that. And I've always been interested in herbalism, but I started looking at my routine a lot in terms of what I'm putting on my skin. And yeah, I just really fell in love with it, and I was sharing a lot on Instagram, and people were just really, really interested. So I just thought to set up DIY kits that people can make themselves at home, because everyone was like baking, doing different things, and I thought this is just something a little bit different for people to do.
Yeah.
Because probably towards the end of lockdown, people are sick of baking and stuff by then, so it's like something else to just make at home.
But can I just say, because we've spoke about this
Yeah.
as well, like, you just started baking, didn't you, as like a hobby, and
Yeah.
you just started doing the skincare, and isn't it mad the way it's just like that, like that's what I should be doing, I'm doing it anyway, like why don't I just do it, like why don't I pursue it, do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Because we had it with this, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our mate Willie was like, why aren't you doing this? And we were like, why don't we do a podcast? And then that thing I've got coming on Wednesday, that was like, I'm doing this anyway, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So big news coming Wednesday.
Yeah.
But
Stay
that's-
posted.
Stay posted, yeah. No, but that's like, it's getting in. The only way, the conversation we had was because we had that break with lockdown, because we got in tune, because we sat down and thought what you want. It's kind of taken a minute, isn't it, to just like, oh yeah, that's the path it should go down.
Definitely, and it's so important to just stop in the like kind of world we live in now. It's so important to just stop and recenter and refocus and things like that. And I have lots of ideas. I just tend to like write them down, but how I filter through them is the ones that stick with me after like a couple of weeks. I'll go with that, because sometimes I can get ideas and I'll think at the time, oh, that's amazing, and then a couple of days later I'll just forget about it, so I know that's not meant to be. But with the skin stuff, it really just stuck around, and I thought, like, I'm gonna have to do this. In the end, I have no choice, because it starts to keep me up.
That's when you know, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like, that's
you think
when
I need to do this.
that's a good problem to have, because I remember when I started on this path, it's like vision board this, vision board that, and then I watched the video, I can't remember what it was, talking about like a vision board is an old idea, get up every day and write your ideas out again. And like, I'd done that for like 2 weeks, and I noticed like 4 or 5 would stay and I'd have new ones, and that's your life. You shouldn't have an idea one day and still be writing that on your list, or still looking at it 6 months later if you haven't pursued it. If something's not on your list anymore, if you're not doing something that's on your list, stop putting it on your list.
Definitely. And it's powerful to do them pages of a morning.
The
morning pages from the Artist's Way.
Boss.
Before your ego's had time to like comprehend what you're doing.
So how do you do that? What? Because I get up, get a cold shower, and then I'll sit on my bed and do it then. Or do you literally wake up and do it?
Yeah. So to be honest, I haven't done it a lot lately, but I was doing it during lockdown. I was literally getting out of bed, opening my eyes and doing it then.
Pure consciousness, that, isn't it?
Yeah, literally it is. It's mad. It's mad.
It is.
I went out for a drink the other day and seen one of my friends who may be on the podcast soon. Stay posted. And he was saying to me, one of the biggest things he learned about creative writing, which he's brought into bigger through uni into life, is that if you have an idea, no matter how daft or you in your head, if you think it's good, write it down. You better believe 2 days later you'd be like, what was that idea I had the other day? Do you know what I mean?
That's a scientific fact. The brain is good for so much. Memory is not one of the things it's good at. Like, it's not a computer. If you can't get asleep and something's on your mind, write it down, and I bet you just fall asleep like that, because it's like a pen drive. it's gone out of your hard drive onto a pen drive, and it's just the brain thinks I've put it over there. Do you know what I mean? Like, and then you come back to it and go,
oh, what was I thinking?
Yeah. Or you come back to it like,
wow,
because
that was great. That how did I think of that?
How did I think? Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? But back to the pages, the creation and the naked skin and stuff. So was that when it come to you? When was it through the morning pages?
It was through a meditation. It come to me. I was just kind of sitting in meditation, and it just kind of come, like, it happens. It's weird. It's like we tap in. Well, we do. We tap into like a collective consciousness, I guess.
100%.
And whoever the ideas come through, I guess that's who's meant to go and pursue it, isn't it? In like the physical.
100%.
So I guess it come to me, and I had quite a lot of inspiration from Lou, who I mentioned at Wilderness, because she was doing it for her. So like she was doing.
Oh, she was doing the packs, wasn't she?
Yeah, so she was doing the hair care packs.
Yeah.
And I thought how amazing to do that, but for skin, because that's what I'm passionate about.
Exactly, yeah.
So yeah.
Got the full package now, taking care of the insides, putting stuff on the outside. You do that with your food though as well, don't you? Like the mangoes and the bananas.
It's all linked. You know, whatever we're putting on our skin's getting absorbed in. It's getting absorbed in, and it's when you eat stuff, it goes through like a bit of a filtration system, because there's a few things it needs to kind of pass through to actually be digested. But for your skin, it's just going right.
Yeah.
Whatever you're putting on there. So if you're putting chemicals on your skin,
it's straight there, no
it's
filtration.
Straight in your blood. Yeah.
100%.
One thing I noticed when I stopped eating meat, my beard went so much thicker and bigger. And everyone was like, "Your beard looks that big," and I was like,
probably because of the lack of animal hormones in your bloodstream.
Well, it's the oils as well in your body, isn't it? When you when you're not having it, like the more natural oils brings up stuff in your skin, doesn't it? Really?
Is that what it is? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Definitely, and probably just all the different minerals you get and the vitamins from being plant-based.
It's because as well
you're eating more veg, you know, and you're eating less meat, you're eating more veg.
Because I remember thinking like, wow, why is this happening? And I thought, because I'm eating stuff I've never ate before, because I can't just go for the chicken, rice and peppers, do you know what I mean? And like,
did you actually have an apple for a change, did you?
An apple a day keeps the doctor away. Did you know an apple does more in the morning for you than a cup of coffee? Yeah, I watched a 15-minute video on how. I won't tell you, I'll link you, because I'm not going to sit here and tell you. But an apple is scientifically proven to enhance your day more. You could probably do it one about now, couldn't you?
Yeah.
How many hours? What time are we on?
Fruits.
9 o'clock. You've been up for how many hours? 15 hours now.
Yeah.
Productive day though, innit?
Yeah, productive.
Definitely productive, yeah. And just touching on that, what you said, fruit's amazing to break your fast with.
The best.
It is. It's great to kind of wake up and have fruit and your body
mango.
digest. Yeah, mango, always mango for me.
We love the mango.
But yeah, it is. There's nothing better, I think, because I remember doing it on holiday. Like I've always had fruit for me brekkie on holiday because it's just light, it's too hot. And I thought, if you're doing that's what's good on holiday, why aren't you doing it at home? Do you know what I mean? If it's clearly good for you to do. And your water, we were saying about 3 litres of water, you can get most of that through your fruit and veg, can't you?
Yeah, definitely. Especially like watermelon and stuff like that.
Apple
What is your favourite fruit?
My favourite fruit? Fruit and veg or the fruit?
Fruit. I would have said veg if that would have been the question.
Alright, sure you go now, because you know yours. I'll have a think.
I know mine straight off the cuff, like mango.
Indian mango.
Yeah.
Indian mangoes are actually the rarest fruit to be kind of exported, because like in India they just want to keep them because they're so nice.
Where would one get some Indian mango then?
India.
From
outside of India. Maybe in the local area.
Purple carrot, maybe. Could you get them in purple carrot?
I don't think so. You can get them in Matas on Bold Street.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, one of my favourite independent shops.
Yeah, that's great matters.
Yeah.
I actually went to school with.
It's his
with
dad,
a
isn't it?
Yeah. So if
With
you want
a
your one, it's like that.
Did you say I went to school with a matter?
Yeah.
With one of the matters?
Mine's melon, me, 100%.
Watermelon or?
No, I'd prefer like.
And there's a yellow melon, don't you?
Oh yeah, I have nice yellow melon, and you know when you have it. Me go in the kitchen. We've got to wipe the floor after it. You know what I mean? It's just that juicy and that nice.
Yeah,
it's so nice.
It is,
I've got
it's
3.
nice.
Can I have 3? I'm having 3.
3?
So yeah, I'll talk you through these 3 and I'll probably get to a conclusion. Strawberries, raspberries, or dragon fruit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if you had the dragon fruit, I imagine you've had the dragon
Strawberries
fruit.
a very close second for me, like, but I just think melon's more satisfying.
Yeah.
You know, if I have melon, I'm like, oh,
Have you had lychees?
Yeah, I've had lychees. Yeah, they're like spiky, aren't they? Are they them ones that are like...
Yeah, the little
and
ones that you pop them out.
Yeah, the boss. I had them in
amazing.
Thailand, yeah. That's where I got dragon fruit.
Oh, yeah.
Boss lad. Do you know what...
Pink dragon fruit or just...
Yeah, no, pink dragon fruit. You cut it in half. It's like white with black seeds.
Yeah,
and you eat it with a spoon.
but have you seen the pink one? That's bright pink inside. Pink pataya.
Yeah. Oh, is that what dragon fruit is?
We use
Pataya?
the powder in the Nakery, so powdered pink pataya colours all our cakes pink. The ones that are pink, we use that. To do what we use blue spirulina for blue, matcha for green, and turmeric for yellow, and beetroot for red.
Yeah, but all natural, all raw, innit?
Yeah.
No added preservatives.
Literally though, but that's the thing. So it leads on to what we were talking about on Instagram. Have you always had a sweet tooth since you was a kid? Is that why you started? Is that why you was like, I know I'm fit and healthy, but I do crave a cake?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but it's good because, don't get me wrong, there's some sweets, as we'll get on in a minute off Instagram, when you were a kid. But now it's like, make the conscious choice of what sweet you want. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Again, how good would it be if in 20 years people are like, do you remember the white chocolate cookie those you used to get from the Nakery? Oh, shame you don't do that. Do you know what? Rather than like, what's your sweet from a childhood? Or chocolate bar?
Don't know, you know. I don't think childhood, I can't really remember. I used to love Mars Delight to me.
Mars Delights, were they crispy?
Oh, they were so nice, Mars Delights.
Boss. I used to love the flake snows. Remember
the
ones in the middle? So have you always been like that? Did you eat sweet? Obviously, everyone, you must have become on this journey.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think what used to be my favourite, really. I'm not quite sure. I used to like Galaxy quite a lot. I used to like Galaxy chocolate.
See, my little sister loves Galaxy. Yeah. And I just think, like, I'd rather have Dairy Milk, me.
Yeah.
Always. I don't really eat Dairy Milk now anyway.
Yeah.
But I would prefer Dairy Milk to Galaxy. Where are we? Yeah. So, there we go. What sweets are we discussing from childhood? They're all multicoloured, I think.
So we had a little look just to see what sort of type of stuff people used to like as children.
There's proper nostalgia.
Proper nostalgia, you know what I mean? And so, for example, we put up what we like to discuss in retro nostalgic sweets from childhood, such as Tazbar. What is it, Tazbar?
Do you not remember a Tazbar?
I don't remember
Tazbar. Any of you remember Tazbars? Yeah. They were like Freddos, but they were caramel. It was before the caramel Freddo, but do you remember Taz?
Oh,
and he used to spin round, the Tasmanian devil.
The Tasmanian
was it him?
devil.
Yeah, he was just the Tazbar, yeah.
Was it him?
Yeah.
Do you remember when Harry Potter come out and there was that little chocolate frog and you used to get them and you used to have a little card underneath? You used to get them on Woolies.
Did you? Yeah.
I remember
Woolies,
that.
pick a mix. Oh, I used to raid them.
Yeah, I used to stuff it all in.
Well, he's standing on it and that wasn't it? Like, it's not even full, you know? £2 for that much scrap.
Red light popping off.
Proper burst them, weren't it?
And he started weighing them. They must have started weighing them then, didn't they?
It was like £2 for a small, £3 for a large, and then they were like £3 for 100 gram or something because they knew people were just ripping them off. But what did everyone else say?
Highland toffee bars.
Remember them?
I actually don't, you know.
They were like, no, one bars.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were like that, but toffee. So like, we used to do them in the post.
Probably why they don't do them anymore then.
Oh, yeah, pure sugar, and you used to roll them up into a ball.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Scan it like a toffee, yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Flake snow. We've
go.
had flake snow as well. Marble bars.
See, I had to Google that.
Yeah.
Do you know what they are?
No.
It's like little bits of marble.
It was like Cadbury's, like black chocolate, like dark.
Like Bourneville,
milk
yeah.
No, milk chocolate. I just like dark and white, and it was all marbly together.
Oh, we do that in the Nakery.
You do, don't you? Marble slabs. I've seen you.
We never copied it from there. Like,
Yeah.
No, well, marble's a thing, isn't it? I don't think Cadbury's have a trademark on marble. You're all right. Yeah, have you seen the videos that they do where you like pour it?
Isn't it?
What's that called? Like ASMR stuff. It's all like wobbly.
I love all them videos. It's proper satisfying ones. I remember sitting there once. It was like. It's quite a late night. I had a few to drink and I was sat there on my phone, and as you do, something comes up on Facebook. Yeah. And the video was somebody with a jet washer cleaning his front path, right? It was all like pavings, like square pavings. Yeah. And the full thing was him just cleaning his path for like 5 minutes, and I watched it all and was like, wow, whoa, I've just spent 5 minutes of my time watching somebody watch the front path.
It's like, that's what them videos are like though. When I see a new video of them, like
oh, it's so satisfying.
Have you ever seen the ones where they're like squashing cars? Like, into, like, balls and that? Belter.
Another one which is probably was so nice, and I don't know why they don't do them anymore. Dream bars.
Oh, boss.
They were so nice. So nice.
Do you remember Dream bars? The white chocolate Cadbury's bars?
It was like a white chocolate dairy milk.
I think I do.
But it was
yeah,
dead
yeah.
light. It was dead light.
Yeah.
You were a boss.
Them, somebody's put, and them Wrigley's things that were like little sheets that dissolved in your tongue. I do remember them.
Do you remember them?
No.
They were against human rights.
I was going to say the response of somebody. Fully against human rights, them pure chemicals.
No, they were little sheets of what I can only describe as plastic, right? And you put them on your tongue. Do you remember them?
Yeah.
And they dissolve into your mouth. They were like Wrigley's sheets, they were called.
Oh my God.
They would like freshen your breath up, brush your teeth.
Yeah.
I remember someone had them when we were like playing out as kids. And like, do you want a sweet? I was like, that's not a sweet. It's like bringing mouthwash out, lads. Like, what are you doing?
Do you want some Listerine there, mate?
Man, go on, what else have we got?
Milky Bar Chew.
Oh, do you remember them?
Would you like that?
They were like a fudge, but Milky Bar. Do you
No,
remember
I
them?
don't remember
No, they
them.
were called Chew, CHOO. Do you remember them? No.
Don't remember them. Might have to give them a little Google
I
after
used to be
this.
a bit of an eater when I was a kid, clearly, because none of you are on these sweets and I'm on them all.
OMG, choc nibs and them strawberry lips from a 10p mix.
Yeah, they were all like them.
They were good, them.
Nips were boss.
They were good. I used to love getting the strawberries, mate.
Yeah.
It's like the little 5p ones.
Yeah.
Fizzy strawberries, sugar coated.
You'd have 20p for your lunch. The 4 of them will do.
Yeah. Do you remember back in the day you used to get like a 50p mix? Do you remember that? Like there
Yeah.
was a shop by ours and it used to be bulging. Now you're getting 10 little sweets, aren't you?
Yeah, you know, you're getting eaten. Mars,
Yeah.
planets. It was Mars, but each one was different,
Yeah,
wasn't it? Like,
one was
different-
like crunch,
yeah.
caramel, and what was the other one? Like,
So-
what's in a Mars bar?
It's like nuggets, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, boss.
Yeah.
Gear them.
Echo chocolate bar, obviously used to scran them at me nan's.
Yeah, there's loads in there, lads.
Go on the draw!
Yeah, the Echo bars and have used to have them.
Yeah, and then that's it, but...
Boss. That was a nice little trip down memory
Yeah,
lane
it
there,
is.
wasn't it? But that's what I was fitting that we were talking about that because the sweets thing, like sweets a big thing, isn't it? Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like people, so that's what's good about like knowing what you're putting in your body. Like you're saying earlier, you're craving something sweet. Have something that's healthy and sweet and good for you and sweet. Do you know what I mean? Because
Exactly. Yeah.
everyone, how many people have a sweet tooth? Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
and it's what holds a lot of people back from going plant-based because they think I'm not going to be able to have chocolate or I'm not going to be able to have a cake.
Yeah,
And we're just kind of filling that gap for people,
Exactly,
I guess. Yeah.
boss. It's the thing with going plant-based as well. Like we're kind of like you're fully plant-based, of course. We're like progressing into it, aren't we? mate?
We're starting, sort of...
I wouldn't say we're starting. We've started.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we started. But how did it start for you?
For me,
Yeah.
I personally, I've always known it was the thing to do. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I've always loved foods. So like, I've always loved like, oh, what's that? I've never been closed-minded when it comes to food, which I know a lot of people around me are, like friends,
Yeah.
family, like, all sorts. Are like, oh, what's that? I smell it and stuff. I've always just had a go. And I just remember thinking like, I think as veganism gained popularity, I was just thinking, yeah, I'll try a vegan scratch. Yeah, I'll get the vegan menu.
Why not?
Why not? Yeah,
Be
and
open-minded with stuff and don't turn your nose because
it's not got me.
oh yeah, it's cool. Oh, they're only doing it because it's cool. It's
Yeah.
not. We're doing it to be healthy. Do you know what I mean?
No, but it's nice. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Like, beans, right? You got me on this. He puts, well, he's Mr. Paprika in his house. Like he has.
I love
he
paprika.
has
I put paprika on my shreddies. Honest to God.
He has paprika with a bit of beans in. That's the ratio of it. You know, he puts it in and everything. But like, you've had cumin in your beans, and it's just like, if I was
Just
never
spice it up,
plant-based, I would
spice it
never
up.
use that many spices.
Yeah,
do you know what I
Spice
mean?
it up.
yeah,
It's the best way to
definitely.
be, isn't
The
it?
most important thing I
Definitely.
think I noticed was the spices are so important in your food.
Yeah.
You might, if you got a bit of broccoli and cooked it and ate it, you'd be like, I don't like that. If you put a few spices in and spice it
Yeah.
up a little bit, you'd have it like, oh,
Yeah,
proper
definitely.
nice, that, do you know what I
It's a
mean?
way to get all your different herbs
Yeah,
in and stuff
yeah.
as well, which is like super
What do you call
important.
that on the? There's like the levels, isn't there? So there's the not macro, micro. You were saying about the herbalism.
Yeah.
So what's that level called?
The herbalism, as in like the history of herbalism, or
No, so I remember you saying like there's a medicines take something from a plant rather than getting down to the level of it.
yeah.
What's that?
So that's the history of so indigenous herbalism.
Yeah.
Basically, they used to look to the plants to learn. So they literally sat with the plants. This is like the indigenous tribes.
Yeah.
And learned directly from the plants. Then it kind of went to the next level where people learnt about the plants as a whole. So that's things like Ayurveda,
Yeah.
traditional Chinese medicine, things like that. So they were still looking at the plants as a whole. And then now what we tend to do is molecular herbalism, where we take parts of plants and we just look at that individual part in a lab, kind of under it, like what does this do? So it's a very like reductionist way to look at herbs and to look at plants, and we've just forgotten basically the wisdom that lies within the plants and what's within nature. And it's dead interesting when you start learning about it and the way that kind of society shifted over to like more molecular ways of looking at things.
Like one thing you are using is CBD.
Yeah.
When did was that sort of as soon as the Nakery opened, it was sort of, or was it something that sort of come in towards?
It's quite recent. Yeah. So it's quite recent, the CBD, and it's amazing to activate endocannabinoid system. There's so many benefits from like regulating your sleep, your moods. It's great for people who suffer with seizures, anxiety, things like that.
That's one thing I found was through like, not like suffering with anxiety, but like anxiety is overthinking, can't sleep, your mind's racing, like I've got to do this tomorrow with him, I've got to make sure this, like that's your anxiety, and it just overthinking. On that level. And also I've got a family member who suffers with anxiety who got me onto CBD, and they were like, I'll try this, and like just 2 drops of it, and like before bed I was like just out, and then you wait, and it was just like, that works, do you know, like that literally it's the best relaxant. It's like
it is,
there's meditation helps as well, but if you're meditating with CBD drops, there's also what you can do with it, isn't there? Like,
definitely.
You put it in cakes, don't you?
So we put it in cakes at the Nakery. So we have a CBD brownie that we make, which is really, really nice. We make it with carob powder, which is really...
Carrot powder?
Carob.
Oh, yeah.
So carob powder has this really, like, biscuity taste, and it's a lot better than using cacao in the CBD cakes, because cacao is a stimulant. So if you're having that too late on in the day, you're going to struggle with sleeping. So there was no point us making a CBD brownie with cacao in, because it was just kind of counteracting the benefit.
Of course,
you know, people want to have them before bed and stuff, so we put carob in there, and it's just a really, really tasty brownie. And obviously you've got that CBD, it's 15 milligrams of CBD in there. And you can use CBD in so many ways. Like, I have essential oils that have the terpenes from the cannabis plants, and even just having them on you, the smell and that, and it doesn't smell like cannabis, you know, it smells like different essential oils. But because it's got that extract in there, it just helps to relax your mind.
It's just a relaxant, isn't it?
Putting it on your pressure points and stuff. Like, there's an energy one, and you literally just press it onto different pressure points in your body, and automatically you just feel uplifted from the different things that are in there. And different essential oils are just amazing to use, like lemongrass, really uplifting. Lavender if you struggle with sleeping.
I've always got a roller on me. Do you know what I mean? Just,
little
like,
roller.
Louise got me on at a camping. Remember the camping? We woke up at camping like, I had a bit too much to drink and that.
Proper rough.
Yeah, and she come behind us and was like, lads, done a Temple's fod, and I was like, I'll never not have one of them on me. Do you know?
You come over to me, I was like, why have you got a barrow in your hand?
He thought I had a pen in my hand. It's like, what are you doing?
Get away.
Yeah, it's just like the tension of
it's proper nice.
I've got a lavender one, spray lavender on my pillow. Smells so important, innit? Like the incense as well, do you know what I mean?
It is, definitely. And it's amazing to just incorporate these things into our everyday lifestyle. It's great, And
I prefer it to aftershave me, because I got sensitive skin. Do you know
and aftershave as well. Like, you want to stay away from aftershave and perfume, because it masks your pheromones. So when we basically like a very kind of, what would you call it, like kind of indigenous level, we'd be attracted to someone through pheromones.
All animals are. Dogs sniff each other. That's an animalistic thing.
Exactly. So it's very animalistic. But when we put aftershave, we put perfume on. If you go on a night out, you put loads of aftershave on. You're on that night out, someone or say like a female has a lot of perfume on. You can then be attracted to that person. Whatever could happen, and then you could maybe think, you know, wake up or whatever, or a few days later and think, oh, that attraction's not there. And it's when we smell people without the perfume. How crazy is that?
That is mad. But what about if they just, like, my mum's always wore the same perfume, so like, what if, I'm not saying the only reason my dad loves me mum is for the smell, but I mean, what if that's something you like about someone, and then are you saying it's got the potential to change if that changes? It's got the potential
to change a relationship, a marriage, anything.
Has it? That's mad, that.
You need to stop wearing that David Beckham
aftershave. It's basically like...
Got in the box at 3 cream
so it's basically like giving a false perception in a way. You know, having the masking your natural pheromones, it's what people are attracted to, and that very, you know, we're not conscious of it. We don't go around like thinking.
No, but we are.
But
we are animals. Do you
exactly.
know what I mean? And
exactly.
I was speaking to Phil, who was on last week. He spoke about it on the show. How we were a band and stuff like that, and like we were tribes people. We're an animal.
Yeah.
But I've had conversations with them personally as well, talking about the mind and stuff. How like we have these things that no longer serve us from. So, like, I think 10,000 years ago, it's like we've developed 100,000 years in 10,000 years, or a million years in 10,000. We haven't had a chance to catch up. Our kind of, what's it called, physiology kind of thing. We're still primal in a way. We've got a primal brain, but we're not living like that anymore. So that's where your anxiety comes from, is you hear a loud noise and you jump up, and it's because you was ingrained in yourself that if you hear a loud noise, protect your tribe.
Exactly,
you know what I mean?
So, and it's like inappropriately reacting to them threats. That's what anxiety is. So obviously fear serves us on some level, you know, it's there to protect us. It's there. Even the ego has a purpose.
Yeah, of course.
It's there to protect us, but it's when it's being used like unnecessary, you know, like in unnecessary situations.
The good phrase I heard was unconsciously unnecessary.
Yeah, basically, and that's anxiety. Do you know,
Exactly,
that's how anxiety materialises.
100%.
But it's this, like, the way we live now is there's so much distraction going on from your phones, from everything, and I feel like sometimes just even, you know, your phone going off. I was watching Eckhart Tolle, and he was saying we can become a slave to devices, in terms of if you're sitting in a restaurant, you hear a plate smash, everyone's like turning around like, what's that? Your attention's automatically like gone over there. You could be having a conversation, a plate could smash, and everyone in the restaurant's like turning around. But then how often does that happen? You know, it's not very likely that's going to happen every time you go out. But now we've got phones. I could be having an interesting conversation, and then your phone goes off, your attention is automatically like
straight
on that
on
phone. So it's like we're a slave to these devices in a way.
It's mad. It's like, do you know Simon Sinek? He's like a business genius, and he's give a talk on millennials, and like my phone on the table's reminded me of it. But basically he said, he's talking about millennials have all these problems of like, they can't develop long-lasting relationships, X, Y, and Z. They go into the workplace and think they want to kill it instantly, and it's just the upbringing they've had. They've been, have Amazon Prime, you can get the Nakery delivered to your door that day, you can get a new pair of shoes within 6 hours.
Instant gratification.
Instant gratification, but that's not life. Life is about, like, sitting in an office space quietly waiting and like, are you nervous for this meeting? And then you get, oh, how's your granddad, by the way? And you get speaking, but when you're on your phone, you don't ever build human connection because you're both just there like that. And the phone on the table even goes into the depth of saying, you having a meeting or a meal and going like that is, oh, got tangled up there.
A crystal.
Yeah. He says, you even having a meeting and going like that, or face down, that says, that's important to me because I've put it there. That subconsciously says to you, I know I've got your time and space, but that's there for me to be distracted. And I didn't know that till I watched it, and you're like,
yeah, definitely.
Mad,
and even if your phone's on silent, subconsciously you still pick up if you've got a text message.
Got a text.
It's mad. It's mad because if you ever like thought about someone and then they've texted you.
Mad. We had one the other day, didn't we?
Yeah.
I rode past the Nakery and I seen a little bit of light after we recorded. And I was like, I need to go and see her about this. And I was like, you know what, I'll just leave it. And then I got to this, I was like, she'd be working late because it was like 10, 11 o'clock, I think it was 10 o'clock. And I was like, and I've got to get the train. If she won't want to talk. Got to Central and she'd sent me a voice note. Hi, I've just been thinking about the podcast next year, and I just thought, oh my God, it's mad as hell.
A few times, like, I used to go with my mates, or he used to come to see me and that, and like, we'd see each other quite a lot, and like, obviously sometimes he'd just ring me and go, do you want to come to ours? Or I'd ring him and go, do you want to do something? But like, a load of times I'd pick up my phone and go, and I'd look, and it'd be like,
and he'd be ringing
me, and like, I'd go, and I'm literally just about to bell you then, or vice versa. I went to ring him, he's like, I've literally just picked up my phone to ring you then.
Mad,
so we've got a telepathic connection.
But that's how we used to communicate.
Yeah.
You know, that's how humans used to communicate, you know, telepathically. But we've just kind of moved away from that now, haven't we? So
it's all Twitter and MySpace.
But even like emotional intelligence, so do you know, like, when I'm big on it, like, I know when you're like, are you all right? You don't seem yourself. Oh, what's going well with you? You seem happy. I know. I'm in tune with it.
Yeah.
When you're a kid, babies will like nurse another baby. So if a baby is crying, there'd be like a 1-year-old. If a baby like has hurt the hand, his 1-year-old brother like struck his own hand, thinking it's him who's feeling that pain.
Yeah.
And like the 1-year-old will have to stop like the 3-month-old crying, because he won't be happy until he is, because that's what we're meant to be. We're meant to all be in tune with each other's emotions, and we unlearn that through like childhood conditioning and stuff. And then as you get older, you only start to realise, don't you, like, oh, you're not alright.
Yeah.
I'm not. Are you sure you're alright? You can sense the energy, can't you?
It's having that empathy, and you know, we get divided so much. Like there was I forgot who it was now, but I think someone was on Russell Brand's podcast, and they were talking about, there was a study done where basically someone had, like, you know, if someone hurts themselves and you're watching it, you like cringe, don't you? You like feel the pain, like you were just saying. But it's being shown that we only do that for people who are the same gender as us and the same like race as us and same religion. Things like that like all count. If someone's different to us, we don't actually feel that. Which is, I was like listening to the podcast like, that's crazy.
I understand that, because like, for example, if you're watching something in footy and the ball goes right in the private parts, I feel that pain. I'm but you won't.
But we don't even know if it was something like that. I think it was just someone hitting the hand.
That's what I mean.
Like you go.
And if we don't feel, you know, it's because you're being so divided. You know what I mean? And it's crazy.
Getting back to that, isn't it?
It's getting back to that, and to get back to that, you've got to become conscious of it. If you're not conscious of it, then we're not going to heal. So to heal from something,
you need to be aware.
You've got to be aware of it, otherwise, you know. So it's the sensitive people and the people who pick up on everything. They're the ones that are going to push that journey, because they're the ones that actually feel the things in the first place to then heal from them.
That's what I always say as well. It's like, since I've been on this path, like, it's not all light and love and light and happiness and like peace and love, but it is. But it's, you've got to show that to the dark side as well. But I've always said to anyone who's like I've come to you for like kind of like guidance as well. Like obviously we all could go to each other at some point. But people have come to me and asked me, and I've been like, that might seem like the worst thing in the world, but it's part and parcel of it. Like, isn't it good that you're aware of that, and you haven't got to 70 and never been aware that there was this path to be on? And I always just say, it might get dark sometimes, but it is the most fun, isn't it? You learn so much, don't you?
Yeah, it is. It's a constant journey, you know. It's never really ending, is it? It's just process, constantly, and that's why you've got to be in love with the process so much, because there's no point like setting, obviously have goals, but I mean, there's no point kind of thinking, when I'm here I'll be happy. It's like all about just enjoying the whole journey. You know, no matter what.
Paradise is a feeling, not a place, isn't it?
It
literally is, though. Like, if you can love the hard work, or like you can love the negatives and things, like, obviously have your bad days and stuff, but if you're gonna be happy when you get somewhere, you're never gonna be happy, is it? Do you know what I mean? Like, that's what I think personally.
Paradise is different for everybody. Like, you might be so happy to like
going to work.
Like, my dad might be happy, for example, to go home from work and see his wife and his kids. Whereas paradise for us is a holiday in Bahamas, you know what I mean?
Paradise for someone else might be like smashing a world record in Spain.
Exactly, do you know what I mean?
And it's finding your thing, isn't it? That is your thing to fall in love with.
Exactly, and that, like, there's a lot that goes into that in terms of like astrology as well. So like different personalities, astrology is like a big one in terms of like determining people's life path and the type of person that they're going to be and things like that.
Well, to be fair, we're going to do something. To be fair, we wanted to bring the naked truth to the Minerva podcast. A little collab.
We did.
A little collab. Little collab.
Minerva X Nakery. But the whole astrology thing, though, I know you're big into it. I'm getting into it, and like one of our mates got me into it. Like, not into it, but onto it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's more than horoscopes, but it is science. It's an old science. It's the oldest science, isn't it?
Yeah, the oldest science. So basically, it was an observational science. And what the ancient people used to do is they used to look to the stars, they used to look to the planets, and basically see what was going on up there. And then they used to observe human behaviour, and they'd start noticing patterns, you know, in
on
people.
Earth. Yeah.
And they'd say, oh, this happened last time this planet was here, so what's this? And that's how it all come about. It was just observing human behaviour, basically. And when you were born at the exact time, like, it's literally down to the minute. So even twins can have, you know, they have different natal charts. So down to the minute when you was born, the place you was born, the planets were all sitting in a separate portion of the sky. So imagine the sky's split up into 12 different portions. they're the 12 star signs, they're the 12 houses, and all the planets are sitting in different portions of the sky when you was born, and that can determine so much about your karma that you've got in this lifetime. Which is massive, you know. If you know that from young, you can understand. We all go through a Saturn return, so when we're at 27, Saturn returns back to where it was when we were born, and it can bring big lessons for us, big changes in our life. And it's just a way to get prepared for things like that. It also tells you a lot about your personality and your life path. It's just really, really interesting.
You're going to give it a go on us today, haven't you? So you've talked before, we've discussed this before, and we've talked both our details.
So we've got both your births.
So how are we going to figure out which ones are we going to do?
So we'd only probably have time to do one, to go into one. So.
Yeah, go on. So what we'll do is then, if we can only do one, pick a number between 1 and 2. 1.5. Pick a number 1 or 2.
1 or 2.
Yeah, jazz stand. That's what that was like, wasn't it? Back to
that.
Pick
Don't get us started.
1 or 2.
Am I picking on mine?
Yeah.
I'd say 2.
That's my guy here.
Because it's 4, you know, 2 and 2 is 4.
I'm interested to see
do you know,
this,
on the number 4, I was going to say, did you know? Of course you knew this, but did you know 4 is the only number that has the amount of letters that the number is?
The number is, yeah.
Oh, mad's that? 4 letters in the number 4. Everything else has got a different number.
4 is just amazing, isn't it?
What, 1 million?
There's been people who've devoted their life to this, Jay. You will not solve this in 2 minutes.
Oh, that was just a joke. A poor joke.
The worst. And we won't cut it out.
Yeah, it's staying in.
Don't start these giggles again.
We've got the dad jokes to go yet.
Oh, no.
Go on.
Okay, so your sun sign, that's what you'll know. That's like kind of your horoscope.
Your star sign.
Yeah, that's your star sign. You know, horoscopes in the back of newspapers and magazines are very reductionist.
Today you're going to have a great day.
Yeah. Basically what they're looking at is your sun sign.
Yeah.
So you've got your sun in Capricorn. Like me, it's the best place.
It's a happy place.
Yeah. So it's an earth sign. It's an earth sign, and it's all about business, and it's all about the long term. So if you think of earth, and you think of like the things that you like are physical, do you know what I mean? The things you can touch, and that's what earth signs are very connected to, and obviously nature a lot as well. It's in the first house, so the first house is basically all about you. So because you've got Capricorn in the first house, it means that you're going to use yourself in business, if that makes sense. So this is like perfect, the fact you're showcasing yourself. Yeah, but you're using it as like, you know, a business path or a life path. And that's just, you know, because it's in mine's in the 5th house. So the 5th house is Leo. And it's all about being on stage. It's all about it's also, it rules children as well, being on stage. Just like confidence and stuff like that. So I've got my a few of my planets in the 5th house, and it makes sense because Capricorns, we usually like to dress in black. Because I've got that Leo influence, it means that sometimes I'll just be, a lot of the time, in bright colours because I've got that massive Leo influence. So it depends on your house placements as well. So it's not just where the signs are and the planets, but it's what house they're sitting in, and that makes a big difference, and you can only know that with your birth time. So if you don't have your birth time, you're not going to know where they're sitting, and it influences it a lot.
We give you, before, just for context for the listeners and viewers, we give you our date of birth, place of birth and time of birth, didn't we?
I was 6:32 a.m. in Vizakli.
I was, Nat will love this, 2:20 a.m. What does that add up to?
44.
Well, 4, yeah.
Well, 4, yeah.
Oh, no, it was 20 and 20. 4.
Yeah, sorry, I thought you said 22, 20.
No, yeah, that would be insane. That.
Yeah.
What time was you born?
22 minutes.
4:40. If you was born at 4:44.
Do you know what? I know I've got my birth chart, so I know when I was born, but thinking of it off the top of my head, I don't know the time.
Fake news out, would you?
I don't know the time, but...
Just say 4:44.
Yeah, why not? So, yeah, so that is... it's in the Virgo Decan, so it means that you can express your Capricorn energy in a way that's going to serve people. So, because Virgo's all about serving people, basically. And it means that you're quite intelligent as well. And you might be...
I have my moments.
Yeah. And you might be noticing this a lot in yourself right now because Jupiter's conjunct with your sun right now. So you could have had quite a few blessings lately, or you might be noticing that a lot in your reality.
Up the Reds.
Yeah.
You have though, haven't you? We've discussed our blessings recently.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so you've got Venus in Aquarius. I've got Venus in Aquarius, so I can speak about that from like experience. Venus in Aquarius is all about things that aren't mainstream. They're not conventional.
You should see the socks he's got on today.
Yeah.
They're not Simpson socks today.
Yeah. So Venus is your values.
Yeah.
So what you're looking for in other people, you know, in any type of relationship, romantic relationship,
working
relationship, friendships, any level, it's basically unconventional. So it's all about being different. It also rules technology and information. So you've got this in the 3rd house.
This is mad. I know.
Yeah, so it could mean that you'd want to be around someone, whether that's romantic or friendship or whatever, someone who doesn't really talk about mainstream stuff. Like you want to be
This is the conversation. Oh, we'll discuss this off camera. This is insane.
Yeah, so you need to be mentally stimulated a lot. Venus in Aquarius, yeah, it's obviously I can say that from experience as well.
This is mad.
And technology, like you could have like a bit of an addiction to technology on the lower energy if you're not careful.
I do like me Pez.
No, but you like your decks. You're always on your decks.
Yeah, me decks.
Like, plug Minerva music coming soon, isn't it? Minerva sessions. Minerva melodies,
so we're gonna first of all we're gonna bring out a little track for you, which you might know, you might not know.
You might have heard it.
If you've switched off before the intro, then you're definitely. And then after that, there's gonna be some exciting things coming, isn't it?
Yeah, big things. Yeah, who knows where it'll go.
Watch this space.
Anything in there about what we're gonna do, Nat?
I could get future prediction, but at the minute I've just got personality stuff. So you're quite a logical person.
And very much
I'd like to think that.
Yeah, and also good at teaching people like the hard facts of reality. So kind of like discipline and hard work. You're like naturally blessed with them qualities.
You won't leave dishes in the drainer, will you?
Yeah.
He's like, I'd rather just wash them, dry them, put them away, and that's like
I've got into a lull now. Sometimes I'm just like, they're staying them.
Yeah.
So were you saying there's personality in there? Is there all sorts? What else can you get? Like future relationships or
anything. Like you can literally, like I went to an astrologer. She read my chart and she said, on this day you will meet someone, and I did.
Mad.
On that day, like it goes proper deep.
I've had.
Was that a small person? Was that a small person or a big person?
That's a very a big person.
Yeah.
That's a very basic, basically.
Yeah.
That's
I'm not an
basic,
astrologer,
though.
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you went to a proper astrologer, it's math, like they've learned, it's basically like a math. They've learned that for years and years, and they can just fine tune. They can go down to it literally goes down to the degree of where the planet's sitting. Can change so much. So where I said then you had that in the Virgo Decan, each house is split up as well into further decans.
Mad.
So it just goes deeper and deeper and deeper, you know.
We'd
be here all day. If
we would, yeah. I'd love to be. So recently I've met someone and like I didn't think it was going to happen. It's been a very beneficial meeting, and that person had a reading that day, and the person said to them, the person who was doing the reading said, you are exactly where you're meant to be and you're going to meet someone very soon. Wasn't even an arranged meeting, and then we just met, and upon reflection we're like, this is mad.
Meant to be.
That's
this was
crazy.
meant to be, I know.
Was that an astrology reading or more like a tarot or
I think is that
like
right?
a psychic kind of reading?
I don't know. I just got told went for a reading.
Because there's so you know you can go into like psychic readings.
Yeah, all
it's
sorts.
just amazing.
But how mad is it that has happened? And like I love when it happens. Like you're getting that read back to you, because I think if you tell me that when I'm 10, it might become the self-fulfilling prophecy. You're going to use your personality for technology. But if you look back and you fulfilled that thing that was written out before you, that's when I go, whoa.
Yeah.
It's definitely a lot of, it was all basically true, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but they've had a lot of time to get to that level. But anyway, so one question we got asked, who's your biggest inspiration? I think I know. I'd like to write it down.
Write it down.
No, I won't write it down.
Tell me.
But no, I won't tell you. But who's your biggest inspiration? I know, I think I could guess. I don't know the answer.
Yeah. Deliciously Alice, someone who I look up to a lot. She's basically big in the type of thing that I'm doing, because there's not many people doing it. But yeah, it's really big in Australia and things like that, and I'd love to go and visit there one day. But Deliciously Ella, yeah, she's amazing, and I look up to Gary V a lot for business.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah. So business, he's just like straight to the point, kind of very, very good videos. So if you're getting into business, I'd definitely check him out. He gives like very real.
Do you know what I love about
content.
Gary V? He's so grateful. Like, he's big on gratitude. We're all big on gratitude.
Yeah.
We've spoke about it. Like, just being grateful changes your life, doesn't it?
It does.
Like, just count your blessings.
Exactly.
And I can't believe them blessings were in there now.
But just in general, I do feel so blessed at the minute.
Yeah.
I'm so happy and
there you go, it was in your chart.
Yeah. But I got a video on the way up here. I was like, I am in love with my life. I was like, I'm riding down Prinny Ave, coming to do a podcast with two of my mates. Do you know what I mean? I was like, I'm just having fun. Do you know? And I thought other people, like, I love when other people have that feeling. Do you know what I mean? Of like you're having it at the minute. I know it's just boss when everyone.
I couldn't sleep. Over the weekend I couldn't sleep.
Because you were just that happy.
We done the podcast one day last week, and I had to go and sit in the park after it because it was amazing. I was proper in awe after it. Then Friday I had about 3 hours sleep. Saturday I had about 4 hours sleep, and I was just full of energy all day. I was just like that, proper full of energy, like. Yeah.
It's a good problem.
Like a dog on heat, do you know what I mean?
Dog on heat. But speaking of the podcast last week, so Phil gave us a curveball, which we liked the idea of, didn't we?
Yeah.
Of picking an album each week. So we told you ahead of schedule, didn't we?
Yeah.
Ahead of schedule. Ahead of time. Yeah, so it was the City of Angels soundtrack.
Yeah.
What a soundtrack, by the way. I'm going to have to watch the film. I've had a busy week, but I
know I have had a proper busy
week. I
think at the same time, with the likes of like the compilations albums, like when you hear it in the film and you're like, when you hear why it was put in this stage,
I can imagine
you
what
feel
the
it a lot
like,
more,
though.
do you know what I mean? Like, you feel it a lot more.
Yeah.
And just the tracks and the artists that are involved, like Jimi Hendrix has got a song on.
Yeah. Eric Clapton's
got a song
the
on.
Goo Goo Dolls.
But it's funny, it's Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls, which everybody knows. Funny enough.
Oh no, the band's the Goo Goo Dolls.
Yeah, and it's called Iris. It was named after some.
Do you know what it's named after?
It's after some fella called something Iris, some American fella. It weren't like anyone you probably would know.
No,
do you know what I mean?
No, I know why it's called Iris. So
it was named after the fella, wasn't it?
I don't know, but is the fella got a mad second name? Like
Yeah.
He opened the magazine and there was someone in there called Iris, and he said, "I'm going to write a song."
Well, funny enough, that the actual film soundtrack came about because there was two people. There was the Goo Goo Dolls and the second one, well, I can't remember the name now. She does, what's it called?
Oh,
it's like Ray.
I know. What's an Alanis Morissette?
Yeah. So basically they'd done it, and they both had albums coming out.
Yeah.
And there was two brothers who were involved.
When's the film from?
1998 to come out.
Okay.
So it come out, and basically they done the film because they wanted. At the same time, they was meant to promote their new albums that were coming out, which are both major successes after it. Which the songs in the film were, I think.
Yeah.
The one, what's her name? She
Alanis
got
Morissette.
her song won a few awards on it and everything like that. But Iris was actually wrote about Nicolas Cage in a scene.
Was
the
it?
actual
Yeah.
song and what's about is written about Nicolas Cage in the film.
We're getting him on the podcast. But what did you think on it?
It was really
I know you love
good.
your music.
Yeah, it was amazing. I'd definitely be watching the film as well.
You can imagine the type of film from watching it, can't you?
You can, yeah.
Well, funny enough, it actually done really successful, but it sold 5.5 million copies in America alone.
Did it? Yeah.
5 times platinum.
That's mad.
It's one of the biggest selling albums, I think, of its time, really. Which is a mad one.
Movie soundtrack.
And you two were on it as well.
Wow. Do you know what movie soundtrack I love and we love? The Warriors. Have you ever seen The Warriors?
No.
Oh, it's
amazing, like it.
I got to enjoy him watching it for the first time, and I knew what the effect it was going to have, and I was watching him watch. It was like Gogglebox. I was watching him watching the film. Like he was like, "This is heavy." I was like, "Just wait,
it's an amazing film. Like,
amazing.
It's a proper amazing film. But going back, like we say, you two on him.
Yeah.
Bono was a bit of a tit. Sorry, it's his first time I've swore, but he deserved that. But his son is in a band called Inhaler.
I never knew you felt like that about Bono.
He's a bit of his, isn't he? He's just a proper.
Lad, he might come on the podcast. Shut up.
Well, it is what it is. But his son's in a good band called Inhaler.
Yeah.
So if none of you have listened to them, give them a listen because they're really good.
He sounds exactly like Bono, doesn't he?
Well, we went to see him. To be fair, we went to see them, and it was like it went a secret gig, but it was one of them you had to be invited to, and like we knew one of the bands. And
J-Mac got in because of his funky socks.
Yeah.
He
went, his beard got bigger, he can come. And nobody come, and everyone was getting pictures with the lad after. He was like, who is that? And we looked, and turned out it was Bono's son, sort of thing. But give them a listen.
Yeah, they are good. But so the curveball we had, which I do like. This is what I like about this. Like it just keeps growing and growing, doesn't it? Like, oh, we'll try that. We'll try this.
So what do you want?
So what you need to pick an album.
So I'm picking the album, aren't I? So
for next week to listen to, though.
Yeah, for next week to listen to. So I'm gonna go for Nipsey Hussle, Victory Lap.
Yeah. I always see you putting them up on Tidal.
Honestly,
She uses Tidal.
I'll use Tidal, yeah?
Use Tidal, yeah.
Oh, that you didn't like on the first episode.
No, Tidal's good because when you put something on Instagram, it's got like a video behind it and stuff like it.
Yeah, it's good for sharing stuff like that,
boss.
yeah.
But sorry, Nipsey Hussle,
Victory Lap.
Yeah.
So Nipsey Hussle is one of like my favourite hip hop artists.
Why? How so?
He just was creating he did create such a legacy.
Is
he actually got shot, yeah. He got
he?
shot. There was a couple of, I don't really know the exact time. It was not very long ago.
Yeah.
And he got shot, yeah. So basically he was creating like, he bought a line of shops from where he was from. And he was like doing it all up. He was giving people jobs. He was basically really about, no matter how much money he made, he was going back to the community and helping them.
Where's he from, sorry?
It was Crenshaw and Slauson, yeah.
Proper like gang town, isn't it?
Yeah, so he got shot actually outside his own shop there.
That's
and because he used to go back there with no security and just speak to people and stuff, and he ended up getting shot. But with some hip hop music, it can be a lot about the struggle and things like that.
Yeah.
What I love about Nipsey is he raps about success.
Yeah.
And it
A
can
lot of
just
people don't do
change
it,
it.
do you know what I mean?
Exactly,
Yeah.
but he doesn't rap about like meaningless things like women and money. He raps about it from a point of entrepreneurship and leadership.
Yeah. It's like J. Cole. Like,
yeah.
J. Cole worked to become the best, and then he got there and realised that's not what it's about. But he can enjoy his success, can't he? I need to listen to him. I always see you sharing him. I'll listen to him.
J. Cole could have been a close contender but I want you to listen to Nipsey
Defo.
Hussle.
100%. Jay's anti-hip-hop, you know?
No,
He's not.
do you know what? Education. That's what life's about. Education.
Nah, he's not.
Do you know what I
He's
mean?
branded it
You'll have
wrongly.
to let me know what you think of Nipsey Hussle.
I will, defo. I'll defo.
Give me a message.
I'll come in for a white chocolate cookie dough slab and we'll discuss Nipsey.
We do. We love like someone with anything that makes you feel, don't we? So like he's not anti-hip-hop. He's just got the brand.
This will definitely
Just
like
hate him,
he was just creating such a movement, and as I say, he was all about going back to his community. Life's
about serving other people,
which was amazing. Yeah.
It is like your star sign, your chart there was about serving. Like we want to serve the city with people like yourself. Do you know what I mean? You serve others.
Yeah.
It's give and take. It's all passing it round. One big atom soup, as we say. We're all just
One
swearing
big atom
around.
soup.
Yeah.
Like we need to final edition.
Yeah, did that joke.
We haven't got much left on the camera, so we need to get through it now.
Sounds.
Basically, so.
Okay.
I know it's been.
So
an
who
hour
wants to do the honours on the dad joke this week?
I'll let you, lad.
Let me do the honours.
Yeah.
Here we go.
You got your dad socks on. Pick another one. The reaction there was.
Right there, I'll have to do another one because that was dreadful.
What do you feel about dad jokes, by the way?
I think they're hilarious, you know.
Yeah, I think they're great, but so does he.
How did the tree feel in spring? Relieved.
How fitting is that joke? That's mad. That's so in tune with this podcast. Oh,
that was amazing.
Sound. And then on that note, oh my G.
But anyway, so episode.
We're gonna keep that up. You know, that was a good one.
So
episode 4.
What we learned from episode 4, then everyone. What can we take in?
I don't know. We'll have to watch it back. But we can take in. Life's about serving other people, looking after yourself, feeling good,
and vegan cakes.
And vegan cakes.
Vegan cakes.
I mean, we're not coming here today going be vegan, but just be more conscious of what you put in your body. Give it a go. Give it a go.
Try something new today.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? That's it, innit? One new thing.